Hi, my name is Tara. I'm a final year PhD student on the Intelligent Games and Games Intelligence program. I'm also a lecturer in the computing department teaching virtual reality and augmented reality.
Hi, I'm Nima. I'm a PhD researcher here at Goldsmiths in computer science. I focus on virtual reality. Specifically hand tracking, and also work here at Goldsmiths as associate lecturer and also teacher assistant for different courses.
So I guess the simplest way to describe it is using computer technology to create a simulated virtual world, really. A lot of people used to say that virtual reality is basically anything that exists in the digital world or a digital world. But in modern times, I guess in modern days, they're more associated with more immersive experiences. So what makes VR different from other mediums is the fact that you have a isolated surroundings. So you have the outside physical world completely occluded from the user's view. Then you have dynamic viewpoint control, so you're able to look around this world and have control over where you're looking and having that agency over your impact in that experience, depending on how much, if you have controllers or if you have any other kind of wand or anything that you're using to kind of interact with the world. And then you have 360 stereo vision, so you're able to actually look around, behind you, up, down, all over this magical virtual world that's been created. And that definitely has an impact to create a much more immersive experience than watching something on the TV or going to the cinema.
Here we have access to a lot of different VR headset devices. So I think the unique thing is that you can really try out these devices to see their advantages and disadvantages, because each of them have some unique features that makes them different. And I think that the really useful thing is that the accessibility, that you can have all these devices to test them out, your application, to see how they work.
I think that VR can do a lot of things for people depending on what the need you're trying to meet. For example, a lot of people, their first interaction with virtual reality is probably in entertainment. So Beat Saber is one of the highest ranking games at the moment. You're essentially in this really crazy, amazing virtual world full of neon lights, and you're essentially following the mechanics of the Guitar Hero games that perhaps a lot of people have played already. You're using lightsabers to hit and slice these different kind of simple primitive shapes in tune with the music, and it gets really competitive. And I think one of the things that really draw people in is this community that's building around it, the competition. On the other hand, virtual reality is used for training and learning. There's a lot of research in this space on how to do this more effectively. If I brought up a scenario that's been used for a research study recently, giving antibiotics to patients. So in this scenario, we had doctors come in and experience this simulation with two virtual avatars. So we had a mother and her grandmother asking the doctor for antibiotics. And the doctor now is coming into this virtual environment with a headset, his controllers. He looks down, he sees a body, a virtual body dressed in a doctor's uniform that he's able to kind of move forward and back with, and that's been tracked. His head movement's been tracked. The surrounding is similar to what you would expect in a consultation in this manner, so the context and plausibility has been met. And then now he's addressing these virtual characters now, but what he doesn't know is that they're being controlled by the research or research assistant by a technique called the Wizard of Oz. So essentially they're asking him, we need antibiotics for this illness for my grandma, and in a sense you think, okay, the goal is here to not give them antibiotics. It'll be simple, easy, right? So I just would keep saying no. But in this case, the doctors became so immersed in the scenario that they actually felt stressed. They actually felt pressured by this scenario that was being created just in VR, that a lot of doctors actually struggled. It just goes to show how you can really create these really realistic scenarios in virtual reality that can help you train or learn or practice in a very cost-effective way. I think the price would be one. Making it more affordable is one, but that's a process that's taken time, and I think Nima could agree that the Quest 2 is essentially a good headset for people that are trying to kind of access virtual reality, even as a developer or a user, because of the fact that it is slightly cheaper than a lot of the different headsets that are available at the moment, but it's untethered, so you can play it, move around quite freely. It has a lot of support from different other applications, 3D game engines like Unity and Unreal, and even you can play games on Steam VR, so you can play the PC virtual reality games and the standalone games as well. And there's a big budding community around it.
And one thing I would add is that it's like there has been a lot of focus on VR hardware, but I think ultimately in the end what makes computers special is actually the software, because for example our mobile phone or laptop that we use daily, we use them because the software that is inside makes our life easier. So I think there should be a more focus on VR software to develop applications that actually people want to go and try the VR for it. And I think right now there's sort of because it's a fairly, even though VR has been out for a long time, but the sort of the modern era of VR, we are still in the early stage of it. Absolutely. So hopefully in the future we are seeing more focus on VR software and applications.
Essentially kind of building on that idea of meeting a need. I feel like once people see content that kind of fits that need, for example, there's VR applications for work, there's VR applications for meditation and therapy, there's VR applications just for gaming. So there's a big broad space for different type of content. And I think that, as we keep building the right software for people to get engaged in it, then we'll see a much more stable increase in VR users. I think Goldsmiths is doing right by actually providing a different range of technologies for people to come experience and use. We have a lot of different types of headsets available to try and develop with, from HTC Vive to the Quest 2, and we're continuously kind of adding headsets and for continuous progression and keeping future-proof.
What I would add is that I think what's interesting is that, for example, the VR course, that is basically the course offer both VR research and VR application building, because as I said, VR still is at early stage, so a lot of how you design something is actually, there is a lot of research behind that, and you can actually be part of that research. So by offering both of these two pathways, I think is a very unique sort of advantage to have.